Hello.
Good evening, sunshines. We are joined this evening by Adam's new mustache and a baby goat. This is our freshest little cutie pie who's hanging out with us at the moment because we're checking to make sure she doesn't have pneumonia. But we also have my new office bunny, who we will be introducing in a little while, running around in the background. So if you get bored listening to us talk, make sure you're checking the background of the video for Eugene, my little office bunny that's hopping around in the background. And if you hear heavy breathing, it's because of this little muffin right here, who is 11 days old, and she's the last baby goat of the season.
And what's her name?
Well, full disclosure, she doesn't actually have a name, so maybe you all can help us think of a music-themed name for her.
What are the names of the other goats? So people can get an idea of what the themes are.
My goodness gracious, buddy, you're so wiggly all of a sudden. We have Brenda Lee, Jolene, Aretha Franklin, Ginger.
We got some names rolling in. Fudge.
Well, it has to be music themed.
Ruby.
So, and generally speaking, we try with the goats to specifically have them be country singers.
Harmony.
We already had a Dolly Parton. In fact, this
Wiggles.
goat is from the
Melody.
Dolly Parton lineage. Anyway, she's very cute.
Patsy
I feel like,
Cline.
oh, you know, we don't have a Patsy yet. I actually
Patsy
really
would
like.
be good.
I like a Patsy.
Thank you, Aresh Kushikan. Sorry if I butchered your.
You definitely did butcher
Username.
that. There's no way you didn't butcher that.
Etta James.
Ooh, I like Etta too. Anyway, how cute is she? She is so cute.
Sweet Caroline.
She is really sweet. Oh.
We already have a Reba. I see that.
We have Reba Milkentire, thine golden teats, from which all of our butter comes.
Etta.
I like Etta and I like Patsy Cline so far.
Shania. Oh, that's good.
Yes. We don't have any, actually, I should say too, I think we generally do like older country and older
Classic
music.
country.
Yeah, classic country.
Well, we are in Nashville, so it's only appropriate.
She looks dead when I'm
June
holding her
Carter.
like this.
So we already have a June. That's one of our dogs.
We have Johnny and June. But anyway, she's so cute. And her birth was actually a tad harrowing. Well, I mean, like, she didn't give birth. She herself was born. But yeah, you can hear she's got a little heavy breathing going on because I think she's got a little pneumonia going on. But anyway, her mom had her literally just like out in the middle of the yard.
Mini Pearl. That's another good one.
Ooh, I like Mini Pearl. Actually, Mini Pearl might be good. I like that. Anyway, Adam, tell us why you are growing a mustache right now.
Why am I growing a mustache? I don't know.
Well, I am obsessed
Oh.
with mustaches. I mean, I grew up in peak Friends time when Tom Selleck was happening. And anyway, I have always asked Adam to grow a mustache, and he could never actually grow a mustache until he was like, I think this part is filling in. So he's trying the mustache. What does everyone think?
Joey Feek
Be
is
kind.
another.
Oh, that's true. Although, but, you know, we're actually friends with Rory, and that might be kind of strange.
That is a little strange.
Ooh, sorry, buddy.
Ooh.
Hey, buddy. You okay?
Thank you, Jeff Moss, for the super chat.
Oh, Jeff.
That was very nice of you.
The best locksmith in all of Ohio.
So yeah, a few things to kick this off. Q&A. If you just want to drop it in there, we'll do our best to
Make sure to ask your questions so that we can answer them.
So we can answer them. Annie will probably be the one to answer all of them because
unless they're questions about Adam's mustache.
I can answer some questions about that, sure. And then the other thing is gift cards. We are doing 2 giveaways again with Redmond, Re-Lyte, one of our sponsors for these live streams.
Yep.
And then the other one is for Duluth Trading. And
So-
another great sponsor of this live stream. So if you want to
Stick around to the end.
stick around to the end, we'll be selecting at random 4 commenters
We'll be receiving gift cards.
will be receiving gift cards, and then we will collect addresses and make
Yes.
that happen.
Okay, so just to recap, send us your Q&A questions. So if you have questions that you want answered, garden, woodworking, farm, homestead. Oh, here's our first sighting. There's Eugenius.
There you go.
Eugene, my little precious house bunny, is hanging out back there. Also, I got her a tiki shirt to wear in our tiki hut live stream, but it's too cold to do that up in the tiki hut tonight, so we're not having our live stream in the tiki hut tonight. But I did get her a tiki themed shirt, and she looks very cute in it. However, she was being very elusive before the live stream. Part of why we were a little late is I was trying really hard to get her into her tiki shirt. Listen, just before anyone is worried about like animal cruelty or something, she loves wearing her tiki shirt. She was not evading me because of that. She just actually is like, bunnies are what's called diurnal. They're not nocturnal, and they're not day walkers. They are like early morning and late evening is when they are really, really hyper. I think some of us can relate. And so she's literally in her most hyper time of day right now. So she was not having me getting her trapped for her. Oh, here she comes. Oh. It's really hard to tell which is the front and which is the back of Eugene, unless she's hopping, which she's coming to us right now.
Chair.
Oh, anyway, Eugene is, I have been raising rabbits for most of my life, and Eugene is the product of 10 years of learning about genetics and fiddling with rabbit genetics. And so I had Briggs, who was the one transplant who made the journey from Washington, and Briggs is Eugene's dad. And not to start the live stream off with like kind of some sad news, but Briggs, after surviving the trip to Tennessee and old age and 2 tornadoes, he survived 2 tornadoes.
But he had a good run.
He had a great run.
Full life, very full life.
He passed away doing what he loved most. We'll leave it at that because it's a family channel. But anyway, Eugene is his daughter. So you can put 2 and 7 together to understand what happened to sweet Briggsy boy. But anyway, so that's what Eugene's doing here now.
It was his last act.
It was his last act, and it was like, this is probably a too deep of a pop culture dive, but I'm really into really obscure references. So in the movie Pearl Harbor.
With Josh Hartnett?
Yes, with Josh Hartnett.
Oops.
He had a mustache at one point, I'm just saying.
Oh, I see.
So anyway, in Pearl Harbor, she falls in love first with Ben Affleck's character, and then she thinks he's dead, and she falls in love with Josh Hartnett, and then he actually dies, but she finds out she was pregnant with his baby, and they named it Danny, who was born after he died. And so then she and Ben Affleck ended up together, and they raised Danny together. And that's what Eugene is. Eugene is Briggsy's love child that appeared after his death. Anyway, so on that really happy note, looking at our really cute baby goat and waiting for Eugene to reappear in the background of whenever, shall we start off in our actual topics we'd prepared for the evening, or do you want to...
I think, so the title of this live stream is Where Have You Been? And so I think this is a good segue to talk about
where I've been.
Where you've been. And actually, even better, thank you, Sierra Schwab, for the super chat.
Sierra.
I think you do a better job than I could have done in transitioning to our next topic. So, hey, Annie and Adam, can't wait for Thursday. What is something that I can anticipate for the first day of the new cohort?
Oh, well, I'm so glad you asked. Here, move your iPad off of this for a second. Okay, so where I've been, thank you, Sierra, for queuing me up so nicely for this. Where I've been is I've been writing a book. Actually, technically 2 books because this is the workbook that accompanies the storybook. But it's a book that started as a self-deprecating memoir. And then I was like, well, I'm 36 years old. Can I really get away with writing a memoir? But really what it turned out to be was kind of a time management, priority management, like how do we squeeze the absolute most out of our lives guide. And in that, I have been, like, with all of my private business coaching clients and stuff for the last 8 years, have been doing these exercises, and I put it together in a workbook, and we're actually offering now a 12-week program called Habits and Hope. And it's basically where for the next 12 weeks, we're starting on Thursday. If it's not too late to join, I will drop the link in the comments, but it's homesteadliving.com/habits-hope. But we'll drop that in the comments.
There's also a post, several posts we made in the last
couple days that have the link.
Couple days that have the link.
But anyway, so the thing is that we're doing a group project where we're going to go through the workbook, the Habits and Hope workbook, and we're going to spend 12 weeks where I will start each week doing a live teaching, and we'll go through the book very conveniently as 12 chapters. So it's almost like that worked out on purpose, that way on purpose. Anyway, I'll do a little teaching, and then we'll basically dive live in person over the internet. Everyone who's in the cohort will join me, and we will tackle all of your problems. We'll figure out how to get from where you are right now to where you'd like to be in the immediate future. Like we actually did this last fall, and it was my experiment because, listen, I'm 36 years old. I did not feel super confident writing a book and being like, this is how you do this. I mean, not that I suffer from imposter syndrome, which I definitely do, but also I just the audacity is not there for me to be like, hey, here's a bunch of advice about how to live your life. And so I wanted to test it, and we did like a little trial run of going through the workbook, and 55 people joined me this fall.
And you said there was tears in the first one.
Oh, not just the first one. It was actually kind of a funny thing.
This was last summer.
Yeah, so this last fall, yeah. Well, summer, fall.
Yeah.
But we did, 55 people joined, and we did, for 12 weeks, we all met. We did the teaching, and then we did our kind of group session, and in that, the thing that Adam's referencing is that someone at the company that's publishing this book is Homestead Living. Someone at one of the company meetings was like, oh, I hear that you're making people cry every week. And I was like, I'm not making people cry every week. It's just that we're all talking about, I think that not to say that, hey, come and do this and I'm going to make you cry. That's
Michael
not
Scott, I will leave you all in tears.
No, definitely not that. It's literally just I think everyone was pretty jazzed to kind of tackle their to-do list together, and then we uncovered together why it was so hard for them to actually be tackling their to-do list. And that's, I will say that it's not just another tips thing. It's there's definitely tips, there's some hacks, some life hacks and those kinds of things, but the real thing is we uncover the psychology behind motivation, consistency, keeping going, why it's hard to establish good habits, how to pick up where we left off. So this Thursday is the first class. And so in answer to your question, Sierra, this Thursday, we're going to be tackling the big questions that everyone's afraid to ask. So there's a teaser as to that. We have one of the first worksheet question goes through and asks the big questions about what are you doing with your life? Where are you right now? Do you actually know how you're spending your time? And then we start doing some practical exercises, like tracking our time to figure out where our time's actually going. And
I think it's super cool. I'm very proud of you, Annie, for doing it. And she's put a lot of her heart into this, and so I think it's super exciting to see. And hopefully it's impactful for people. I think that that's the goal.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to just toot my own horn, because the thing is that the reason that this works is because it's a group thing. But in the 55 people that joined us last time, every single person came back with some pretty revolutionary life changes that happen. And some people, their goals that they wanted to do were really, really small. Not to they were immediately achievable goals, and they got them done, and then they were like, oh wait, I could still do more. And that was cool. But a lot of other people were just like, hey, in 5 years I want to be the kind of person who blank, and they felt like they walked away from it with the tools to do that. And so that was awesome. I love accountability stuff. I love group things. I mean, the whole purpose for my selfish reasons for doing the cohort in the first place is because I need to get the second draft of both books to the publisher so that we can actually publish before the end of the year. And so that's my big, hairy, audacious goal that we're going through, is that week to week I'm going to be giving my own progress report. Oh, Eugene sighting. I feel like we should have a prize or something. If you're in the comments and you see Eugene, we'll I don't know. We'll find some better way, because Eugene's going to be hopefully around for a long time.
He's on the run.
Oh yeah, she's doing the Lord's work back there.
Whoa.
Oh, she's doing these funny little hops, which by the way are called binders, B-I-N-D-E-R. Random rabbit fact.
Yeah.
For you.
Oh,
she has a little tunnel thing back there, and she just ran through her tunnel. That's what that noise was, if you heard it. So, anyway, moving on from the habits and hope, which, we'll probably bring it up again, because that has absolutely consumed my life for the last 9 months, is writing those books. And I'm so excited about them.
Super excited. My Food Forest Journey has sent a few super chats.
Oh, thank you so much.
I asked, how do you ask a question? Fire away. If you have any questions, fire away. I do see some questions about the garden, though, Annie.
Yeah. Should we talk about garden stuff?
Why don't you talk about where we are with the garden? I think the last we left people off with the garden was 2 months ago, and we put the garden to bed, and then we haven't talked much about the garden since.
Okay.
So where are we with the garden?
So, well, it's February the 4th right now, in case that is shocking to any of you. I don't know about everywhere else in the world, but here in Tennessee we have 12 seasons. I've heard that other places have 4 seasons, but we have 12. And we're currently in what has been lovingly named the Spring of Deception, aka it was 70 degrees and so delightful today. The sun was out.
70
The birds
degrees.
were chirping.
It's amazing.
And those are the moments that it's very tempting to be like, woohoo, let's go out into the garden. And let me just say that if you've gone through all of the trouble of babying some starts in your little indoor grow houses or whatever, greenhouses, or if you're buying starts, my number one best spring gardening tip is do not get too excited. Don't get outside and plant things that you're then going to have to either restart or rebuy because you were deceived by the Spring of Deception and the eagerness to get outside and plant things. I will say that sometimes I really I'm generally I think a very kind, precious person, but also I do sometimes get on these little kicks of self-righteousness where I used to on the first sunny day of the year when we lived in Washington, which only happens once a year. So just saying, we moved to Tennessee for a reason. I would, on the first sunny day of the year, I would go to Home Depot and sit in the parking lot and judge everyone who was walking out of there with their tomato starts and be like, well, you're going to be back here in a month, suckers. Anyway, so that's my number one best spring gardening tip is wait till there's enough doubling power from the sun to actually sustain your plants. Because if you plant things too early and they're really struggling in the transition, because of the cold, you're not actually saving very much time at all. by planting your stuff early, you're actually far better suited to plant it a little bit late. Great for us who are really good at procrastinating, because then your plants are going to be a lot more pest and disease resistant. A lot of people's early spring garden issues are because they're too impatient too early in the season. And so don't be that dummy I'm judging in the Home Depot parking lot.
My food forest journey says your goat is so calm. And I looked at it and it was like it's so chill.
I know she's okay, so that's why I was like so like when we first started, she was so hyper, and I was like, this isn't usually how she is. She's usually more like this. Like
she looks like she's about to go to sleep.
I feel like we should have some like rockabye music for her. She's so cute. Oh my gosh. I will say that I think I've said this in videos before, but when I first kind of like had my when we got Jeffrey basically, and Jeffrey broke into the barn and bred everyone at once, I was like, 22 baby goats is not actually 22 times better than one. In fact, it's actually much worse because you really don't get to like enjoy them. My goats are very prolific reproducers in that they have like we have record production genes in our herd, and so I almost never have just a single goat baby born. But this, I will say, is really special because just having only one, I find myself multiple times during the day going out and just being like, oh, she's so cute, and picking her up and just wanting to hold her. And I think that this baby goat has probably gotten more affection in the last 11 days of her life.
Because she's a solo.
Because she's by herself. So this is the thing. More is not better, which, not to self-promote here, but
there it goes.
More is not better. And actually, that's where, like, the other behind the scenes of where we've been is that we're downsizing a lot of things right now. So actually, I think this is kind of a fun guessing game for our audience. If you're interested, we are completely getting rid of 5 different species of animals. You want to guess? And
you're gonna ask. You want them to guess?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
so
okay.
if you all in the audience want to guess
5 different species,
which 5 species of animals we are completely getting rid of or have already gotten rid of over the last 3 months, because we're trying to bring.
Now, keep in mind we have like dozens of species on this farm. So,
Yes.
So the Animal Trades empire is not collapsing.
No, not at all. But
we are downsizing.
Yes, I'm following my own advice in my book, and the reality is, the theme of the season is doing less but better. We made the commitment that we were going to finish the school, finish my book, and we were going to try to dive in on some more content streams.
But be like more focused.
Yeah, so we're focusing in on those 3 things, and less on the constant expansion of the farm during the season.
Seen some funny guesses come in, but thank you, Sarah Spence, for the super chat. Says regardless of age, you have a lot of wisdom to share. My 3-year-old daughter and I love watching your videos. Excited for the new book. Best of luck. Very nice.
Okay, that makes me so happy. Parents watching these videos with their kids is really, really makes me happy in so many ways. When I was making a lot more just woodworking content, it was the absolute best feedback I could ever get that dads and daughters were watching the videos together, because I have a real soft spot for dads and daughters that have a close relationship, because for so many reasons, which we don't need to get into now because we don't need to cry.
Well, and I do think that that's part of the reason, like, why we do like making those morning chores videos.
Yes.
Because it borders on like children's television, which is a little bit of like a detour from our gardening stuff, but it can be kind of a family entertainment. So
totally. I have one of my friends says that like her 9-month-old has been watching that video 3 times a day for like just so like that's how they do the wind down for nap time for like the last 6 months.
That's awesome.
And I was like, I'm so sorry that you've had to hear that audio so many times, but anyway, we love that stuff. So
so while the questions on the animals guesses come in, take a question from Rachel.
Yeah.
Hello, Rachel, our good friend Rachel. Are you trying any new varieties this year in the garden, Annie?
Yes. I mean, for those of you who don't know me or know my gardening preferences, I'm always trying to do weird stuff. Like the weirder or more unique, the better. Just because straight up interest level. We have the incredible privilege of Tyler, my closest friend here, who I do the dairy business with. Her husband runs a CSA, and so which is a community supported agriculture. So if you're local in Nashville and want to get veggies and dairy from us, you totally can. Little plug there. But in that, I have her husband grow all of my bulk vegetables and all of my like boring normal stuff for me as part of our labor exchange for the dairy and all that other stuff. And so in that, I get to then do only what's fun in the garden. So the thing that is the most exciting for me this season is I have been, well, like just like in this exact moment of this season, is that I've been growing a whole bunch of different things that are native to Tennessee, like native things from seed to then be the root stock for fruit stuff that I'm grafting onto it. So at this exact moment, I have a whole bunch of different varieties of kiwis that I'm grafting onto other kiwis, and then grapes. Like we have like grapes grow like weeds here, like the local like muscadine grapes, but I'm putting a bunch of different other varieties of grapes, more root vines. That's very exciting to me. And then also just like a bunch of the trees that like the trees that I've been growing from seed. Now is the time. February is the time to cut the scions.
Oh, is it?
It fell asleep.
Oh, it fell asleep. I mean, look at it on the video.
It looks dead, but it's alive.
It's not.
Trust me. You can hear it breathing in my microphone.
Alive, but it also still has its umbilical cord.
I mean, that takes like 2 weeks to fall off.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, yeah, so I'm really excited about that. In answer to Rachel's question, I also am trying a lot more Asian vegetables this year. So those of you who don't know, I spent most of my young life living in Asia. And so because there's not as many Asians here in Tennessee as there were in Seattle where we used to live, it's a lot harder to get a lot of the ingredients that I used to be able to get at the regular grocery store and the Asian grocery store. So anyway, I'm having to grow way more of that stuff and make a lot more of that stuff from scratch myself.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, so that's here. Wait, I'm going to take off my glasses because, you know, you guys, you don't know that I can't see, and here we are. It's perfect. The glare, I think, was problematic.
Yes, but so the garden you are expanding this year.
Oh yes, we also we are expanding the garden by it's getting 3 times bigger this year.
3 times.
I mean, square footage wise.
Oh wow! Well, because you're going to wrap around the pond.
Yes, because we're wrapping around the pond. We've expanded the orchard, hence all of the grafting and the scions and all of those other things that I've.
Well, you had a little bit of a fall orchard on the other side of the pond that was kind of a mixed bag.
Oh, you're talking about the fall garden planting video that I did.
With the blowtorch.
Yes, the blowtorch accident. For those of you who haven't seen it, I caught something on fire with the blowtorch on the video. It was a bit of a chaos. It was like past sunset, and Adam was like, all right, we're done filming for the day. And I was like, hold on, just really quickly, one more thing. And then I caught something on fire, and he got it on camera, and it was a whole situation. Anyway, it's great. But yeah, no, we'll see come spring how successful that actually was, because I planted 300 or 400 strawberry plants over there in the weed fabric that we put down to. Anyway, this is like, I don't want to get into the weeds. About specific gardening videos, because I never expect that everyone's seen all of our videos, you know.
Jeremy Johnstone says, please don't give up the alpacas. Thank you for the super chat, Jeremy.
Ooh. We'll talk more about that later.
We'll talk more about it later. Chris Conversino says, thank you for the super chat, Chris. It says, hi, Annie, how's the school build going? And then also, why Eugene?
Why did I name my bunny Eugene? Okay, that's a great question. And the school build, in answer to your first question, is going great. Austin and Rachel were down here again a couple weeks ago.
Your friends from Ohio.
Our friends from Ohio who are helping us. They've committed to help us finish the school, and they've been coming down in between other jobs and stuff and helping us for 1 to 2 weeks at a time. We got the stairs up to the second floor built. We got the floor put in. We got the plumbing installed for the whole building, which is very, very exciting. We got a lot of the wiring done, the electrical wiring, and we
plumbing?
Oh yeah, I just said the plumbing.
Oh, you did, okay.
Yeah. And we have 3D renderings that I think I showed last time, via my iPad or something in Ultimate Chaos. We have 3D renderings of most of the upstairs. We've got the kitchen and the primary bathroom done. It's all very exciting. I'm really excited to see the school moving forward. And in answer to Chris's second question about Eugene, my bunny if you've just joined us, my bunny is hopping around in the background of the video, so 10 points for every sighting of Eugene. Oh, this goat just sighed. She's very stressed, obviously. We named her Eugene because I have a lifelong obsession with Adventures in Odyssey. It's a Christian radio drama.
Focus on the Family.
Made by Focus on the Family. And there's a lot of reasons for this, but when I get really overstimulated, just my parents, for whatever reason, knew that they could give me a pair of headphones and Adventures in Odyssey, and it would be an immediate calm down. So I have there's over 1,000 episodes of Adventures in Odyssey that have been released. I have almost all of them completely memorized. I can what is it articulate? That's not the right word. I can quote but it's not quoting. I could literally just tell you from start to finish almost every episode of Adventures in Odyssey always. And so I was
it's background comfort noise for you. It's
constant.
You do the same thing with The Office and Friends.
Yes, certain things, yeah, for sure.
Gilmore Girls.
But I listen to there's a lot of them. I listen to Adventures in Odyssey every night while I'm going to sleep. And anyway, so there's a character on Adventures in Odyssey that's named Eugene, and I have I have no idea why, but I think it's super funny to name animals the wrong gender names. And so even though she's a girl, I thought it would be great to name her Eugene, and especially because I can call her Eugenius when she's being especially genius. The other day, she has a little window, and I put her little shavings in front of the window, and she hopped out of her window and was using her shavings as her own little personal porch for a little while, which was really cute. That makes the goat sad. She sighed when I said that.
So what can we look forward to with gardening videos and stuff going on this year? Well,
we are also, in addition to growing all of the Asian things and all of the fruit things, we have a really cool indoor grow setup that we made for starting seeds this year, because seed starting has always been something that I've actually outsourced, again, to Tyler's husband, because I don't like doing it. But we made a fully automated, Adam and I don't generally do a ton of projects together, but he helped me with this project, and we did it, and we had a lot of fun doing it. We made this really awesome grow thing, so we're going to do a tour, I think, of that and just show how this. Anyway, I'm doing a bad job of explaining what it is, but it's a fully automated indoor seed starting
greenhouse.
grow house, which is
It's like a garage
super awesome.
greenhouse.
Yeah, it's like a greenhouse for a garage. It's like those like little zip up ones, but much, much, much cooler. And everything inside is fully automated. So that's very exciting. We are growing all of our hot sauce peppers right now. So like we have all of the hottest of the hots, and those are getting started at the moment. I've also overwintered all of our pepper plants from last year successfully.
Mushrooms.
We are also doing a ton of stuff with mushroom growing. I have an entire mushroom growing log yard out in the front right now. There's like over 50 logs that are inoculated with random mushrooms. Obviously still onto the foraging thing.
Yeah.
Things are happening. Yeah, so lots of gardening stuff, obviously. Oh, I did want to just like say that if it's February and it's sunny,
the
so
goat.
cute.
It's very cute.
If it's February and it's sunny, instead of being tempted to like do dumb things like planting your tomato starts in February or anything, what I would recommend, I do have some February garden activities I would recommend. If you haven't already started prepping your beds, like this is a time to do it. If you want some like manual physical labor, it's a great time to stir your compost or to like make compost for the first time. If you live in a cold climate and you're hesitant to make compost when it's still cold outside, don't be silly. Compost generates its own heat. It doesn't have to be heated by the sun. So that's a big misnomer. And one of my favorite pastimes, I know I'm going to compost like on a nice brisk day, because it's just a great way to like get a good workout and to move your body and to get stuff done and to feel, man, I just accomplished a bunch. But because we still have, like another month or two, like if you're in Montana, my condolences. No, I love Montana. I grew up there. But if you're in Montana, you've got like till June before you can plant. But this is a great time to spread compost, to let it kind of age in place. This is a great time of year to do your soil tests. If you've watched much of my content, you might actually recognize a contradiction there. I used to tell people not to test their soil because there's so many things that you can learn just by observation that like make soil tests like not super necessary. But I've changed my tune because now soil tests have become way more accessible for regular humans to be able to use in a useful way. And in that, Redmond Homesteader, which is, we talk about Redmond Re-Lyte. It's the same company. It's just that there's a human one and a agricultural one. Ironically, I found out about the human one because of the agriculture stuff. But Redmond Homesteader does a $30 soil test that is the bee's knees. And I would be telling you about it whether they were a sponsor or not, because it is worth every penny of your $30.
The old ones were like hundreds, right?
Well, so I'm...
Okay, I just asked a complicated question.
You did ask a very complicated... I'll say in a really quick way that like soil tests have always been available, and like a lot of states offer them for free or for really cheap and stuff. But the problem is that they used to come in a very unreadable format. So if you weren't a organic chemist,
okay,
it was really hard to know what to do with those results. But now I'm thinking of like if there's any other super nerds here, like the Malik 3 test. Like, are you kidding me? That's not going to give you good results. I mean, it gives you great results, but you have to be a scientist to be able to read them. And so, anyway,
this one they like tell you.
Redmond, literally, it's $30.
Do, right?
There's a QR code that you scan. You like it. It has everything you need in the little box. It's in a self-addressed stamp envelope. Which, like, if you've ever heard me talk about how hard it is to mail things, like this solves all those problems. And then they email you the results, and not just the results. They also say, and this is exactly how, like like a cookbook recipe. This is how you fix it. And
Very cool.
Redmond soil test. This is the best time of the year to, like, it's always a good time, but like this is a great time of the year to do your soil tests.
What about pruning fruit trees?
This is a
Because apparently you've become like a fruit tree, like a voice in the fruit tree world. So what about fruit trees?
Fruit trees, actually, this is really funny. Adam always asks me, he's like, have there been any comments that have like really ticked you off recently? And I was like, oh yes, in fact there was. Today,
like half our text conversation between us is us screenshotting unhinged text comments.
Yeah. So someone...
It's fun. Keep them coming.
Someone was telling me why all of my advice about fruit tree pruning was wrong because they were in Western Washington and telling someone to prune their fruit trees in February, which, by the way, you want to prune your fruit trees. Like, there's other people that say differently, and here's the thing. If it works for you, it works. We don't need to argue about it. Life is too short to argue about dumb stuff.
No. Here.
Yeah. So, but that said, they're incorrect. You really, really want to prune your fruit trees like before the tree puts all of its energy into actually budding out. And you definitely don't want to prune it like at least a heavy pruning. Like if you're doing a significant prune, do it right before the buds start popping, because that's when it's before the tree has put a ton of energy actually into its buds and like creating its flowers and its leaves and all that stuff. And that is also when the tree has the most energy available to actually heal from the pruning wounds. And so in that, yes, in the wet season, there is opportunity for more fungal issues, which is what this person was going on and on about.
I know, it just doesn't,
it's like so cute.
It doesn't look like alive, like
yeah,
on the stream.
I know.
But it is.
Don't worry, she's very healthy aside
from. It's
from.
very healthy. It's literally just sleeping.
But yeah, no. So you like there are potential issues for funguses to come if you're pruning in the wet season. But the reality is that the tree has the most resources available to be able to heal itself from the pruning, like right at this time of the year. So this is the time that we want to be pruning. Also, very conveniently, all the stuff that we are pruning off of our trees, like that's stuff you can put into, like wrap it tightly with saran wrap, put it in your fridge. That is going to be a perfect scion for grafting. You can't, like, quick grafting thing, you just graft whatever you're cutting off. You can't put like a peach tree onto an apple tree. It's like apples can go to pears and other apple trees. Some stone fruit can, like, you can put
oh my gosh. Oh, we woke her up.
Sorry. You can put like, you can put a nectarine on a peach. Nectarine onto a peach. Sometimes you can do an apricot onto a peach. Sometimes you can't. But like all that stuff, it's the fun thing about doing stuff the way that we do it is that you can experiment and do truly wild, silly experiments because all the stuff we're doing is free. I mean, like I'm growing from seeds, which is going to be a better established rootstock, all of this other stuff. But then also the scions are free. Everything is free. So it's like, what's our actual risk?
Yeah.
The 10 minutes it takes to do the grafts or whatever. So yes, this is a great time to prune your fruit trees. If you are nervous about pruning or you want to learn how to prune, we have a really great series that we did with my friend Daniel, who is an arborist, very, very knowledgeable guy. Lots of controversial advice in those too, because he talks actually about pruning for the longevity of the tree instead of the maximum fruit production, which we love because we want our trees that we are going to have in our yards for as long as possible to actually live for as long as possible. We don't want to have like one random ice storm or heavy wind cut our only peach tree that we have in half and ruin the tree. So
but we're doing
anyway,
the next one is propagation.
The series. So we have It's called You're
Mistakes.
Killing Your Fruit Trees. That's what the series is called. So if you want to look it up, it's called You're probably killing your fruit trees. We have pruning. We do a summer pruning, by the way. That's why this person who was arguing with me online was saying, hey, you should prune in the summer. And I'm like, well, you can do a reactionary pruning to see how the tree will react to being pruned, but you don't want to take a ton of their solar panels away during the summer once the leaves are already there, because the tree's already put the energy into creating the leaves and all that stuff. You can do that, but really you want to do your heavy pruning right now. Oh, she awoke. Good, this is proof of life, everyone. Simba.
So, super chats. Thank you, Rick Pye. Says, I can't wait for the second cohort to start. I was part of the first cohort.
Oh, Rick. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Oh, also, Rick, you don't have to, but if you have anything you want to tell everyone in the chat about your experience in the first cohort, we'd love that.
And then a very generous, super, your last name, right?
Thank you so much.
Says, here's to the school. I look forward to taking a class. Love the videos. Thank you so much, Jennifer.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's so awesome.
Very generous.
Well, awesome. Are you looking to see if there's any questions or anything else like that?
Yeah, so there's been a lot of questions, and of course, there's still speculation on which animals we are culling down.
Culling is maybe not the word.
Maybe not the right word. It's a little
culling
harsh.
doesn't mean necessarily killing.
That's true. So earlier, for the people who weren't there earlier, we alluded to the fact that we are downsizing a little bit on the farm. It's still going to be like a full-on farm. I mean, we're not stopping chaos.
doing...
It's just going to be a little less chaos.
Yeah.
And so we are looking for a word that's less harsh than culling. We are...
Downsizing.
Rehoming.
We've found... for the animals that we are rehoming, we have found really, really great homes for them, and we're really excited for that. Because this is a stewardship issue for me. When I bring an animal here, I want this to be its last home, ideally, because, I just have a certain standard of care. I don't ever, I can't control what the next person does, so, I don't want to have an animal that's become accustomed to a certain level of care here, then, go to a bad situation or anything. But, the animals that we are rehoming, we have found really, really, really good homes for them.
I think we could probably just say which.
Should we say now? After everyone's been guessing?
So
okay.
There's a lot of guesses. And let's see. Some people speculated rabbits. Tanya Evans. Alpacas, cows, chickens. I don't think...
We are never getting rid of the cows.
Yeah,
I'm just going to strongly say that right now. However, I will say that we have downsized our cow herd a little bit, but that's actually because the cow herd is constantly in flux due to whatever we're doing. We can't keep 100% of the calves that we have, and we also raise beef, so that's
rats
reality.
Rick rats.
I would love to downsize our rat population.
That can be the sixth.
That's the sixth one. We'll say that we're definitely downsizing our rat population.
We're always culling.
We're culling. Yeah, I will have no problem saying that we're culling our rat population.
A lot of people guess chickens. Somebody said chickens are fried. Alpacas, bye-bye chickens. Geese.
Okay,
so why don't you just go through the list?
So here's who we are getting rid of and why. So I mentioned already many times Tyler, my partner in all things dairy. Her daughter May is going to be 4 this year, and she has decided that she wants to be in charge of our chicken interest, and so May is taking over the chicken flock, and that's going to be her chore. And so all of the chickens are in May's care now. So May is the chicken chick now, which she's so excited about, and she's already doing a very, very good job. We also have a date on Friday to pick out all of our chicks from the McMurray hatchery for May.
We do.
Yeah,
I'm learning about this in real time.
Oh, well, you knew that was our date was happening. You just didn't know that it was happening on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So May and I have a little girls' date to pick out our spring chicks from the McMurray Hatchery catalog. And
by the way, have you seen the catalog they have? It's like this thick, and it's like there's like 100 pages of different varieties of chickens. I was like looking at it on the counter the other day, and I could not believe how many varieties of chickens there were.
This is a surprise to you? Farmer Adam.
I mean, it was.
So he's talking about the McMurray Hatchery catalog, which is, by the way, a fantastic resource just across the board because they have so much information about they specialize in.
It was kind of overwhelming because like they had like a whole biography of like every chicken, and it was like saying like.
So they specialize in specialty chickens, and so their catalog is extremely educational about all of the different chickens and why this breed and why that breed. So that's why May and I are going to have a tea party, and we're going to talk about all the chickens, and she's going to pick her chicken interest.
Do you know what breeds you want?
May's the boss now.
Oh.
May's the boss.
But what are your favorites?
Well, my personal favorite is whatever is the least naughty chicken that lays the most eggs and makes itself worthwhile, which is basically Rhode Island Reds. But they're not, like, here's the other thing is, like, I feel like I don't really have actually a real claim to legitimacy of this argument right now because I'm like, I don't think you should get animals based on cuteness.
Yeah, right.
But
really
like
practicing what you preach.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, as much as I don't like chickens, I actually do really enjoy having a lot of different colors of chickens, and I think that that's important. Because when you have...
you do like chickens, though. It's kind of like you say that tongue in cheek.
I do say it tongue in cheek, but I mean, of all the animals, like if I'm in if I'm in a tornado and I can choose to save my cow or my chicken.
That's fair.
Chickens can fly, so good luck. But anyway, don't want to get canceled here in the farming community.
There's
but
some very passionate chicken owners.
I know, and like here's the thing: before you've ever had a cow, chickens are great.
The gateway drug.
They're the gateway drug
to
other more interesting animals. But here's the thing: I actually also think that chickens are, and actually I think this is kind of true across the board. Every animal, it is so much easier to enjoy them when you have fewer of them. So like when you have 4 chickens, you're going to be able to know your chickens, and each one's going to have a personality, and they're very fun, and like it's funny to watch their little antics and everything like that.
And you get eggs.
Yeah, and then you get eggs and chicken also. But like the cool thing about having 4 chickens is that then you can tell them all apart, and then therein lies why different colored chickens are great, having different colors, because it's like you can see across the yard, oh look, there's the barred rock or whatever, and whatever Henrietta or whatever her name is, and she's doing something funny or chasing a butterfly or like eating a mouse, whatever.
Rachel says Jersey Giants are the best.
Oh, Jersey Giants actually are also great. Actually, that is not Hairless Henny. What was her? Maggie. Maggie was a Jersey Giant.
Cassandra says, I love Americanas.
Yeah, Americanas are also great. I love Americanas too because, like, I love also a good a colored egg bouquet.
Silver Red's blue, the most beautiful shades of green eggs.
Yes, they have
says
fantastic. Yes, and also that's actually, we did those for the first time 2 years ago through McMurray Hatchery. Orpingtons.
Oh. It just says Buffingtons.
Oh,
maybe that's... I love my Buffingtons. But
there you go. I love that. But anyway, so yeah, chickens are great, but I love them in much smaller numbers. Like when we had just backyard chickens, it was really enjoyable, right? Like I had that one little silky chicken that would eat my little sandwiches.
Had a cat, a dog, and chickens.
Yeah, but then I made the mistake of getting 80 all brown chickens. Chaos. All at once, and when I was like, you know what, and it's the same thing with goats. Like when you have 22 babies at once.
Any animal, really.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like with the cows, we our cow population, like I said, is always in flux. So we had 18 cows. I was like, you know what, as much as I love cows, I do really love it a lot more when we have just like smaller numbers.
Okay, so chickens, and then what else?
Chickens are going away. The ducks went away, but that was thanks to the fox, unfortunately.
We We have a very active fox in our hauler here.
Yes, and like I probably shouldn't say this live, but I was Elmer Fudding it. Take what you want there, and I shot its foot off. I did not succeed in getting the rest of it, but it is thriving with 3 feet.
It's totally fine.
Anyway, it's like a whole thing. It took all of our ducks.
Doesn't look like it's missing a foot to me, but it's
maybe just a toe.
It's thriving, and I guess we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
So, okay, so chickens, ducks.
The chickens, the ducks, and then here's the real heartbreaker, because this is actually also a heartbreaker for me. The alpacas are going to... We have a friend who's a vet, like an actual alpaca veterinarian in Atlanta, who's going to take the alpacas. And like that was such a hard decision because I love the alpacas and I love their fiber, and Ringo, even though Adam hates Ringo, is like my favorite, mostly because Adam hates him.
But you've had alpacas for
almost 10 years.
Yeah. Long time.
So the reason for deciding that we're done with our season for alpacas is, first of all, like a lot of what we talk about even in Habits and Hope in my book and everything like that is understanding that certain things have seasons, and it's okay to let go of that season. It's okay to move on from that season. It's okay to like cut your losses when things aren't working out, but also fully being aware that at any point you can restart that season.
Yeah, totally.
And so this is the season to not have alpacas for several reasons. First of all, because they are, like, across the board, my most stressful animal to try to keep alive in this climate. They are not meant for this climate. Like, it's not great. The annual shearing this last year, I do myself. It did not go well this last year. There was like a kerfuffle, or like lemony snickets when everything goes wrong. We just had like a series of really unfortunate events. And so like the shearing this last year was really, really miserable. It's never been like that before, but like I really dreaded doing it again this year.
But it all turned out okay.
Yeah, everything's fine. It's just
they
like
got sheared.
It
was just very difficult.
Yeah, and I got like kind of pretty hurt while doing it because just something very unexpected and very out of the normal happened, and then my shears also broke. It was just like just this whole thing, and then their haircuts were like really ugly, and so then all year, like normally I'm so proud of their haircuts, and all year I was so embarrassed. Everyone's like, oh,
people just said they saw Eugene.
Oh, I see her there.
There's
Eugene sighting. Look at her. Oh, she's so cute. Oh my gosh. So anyway, Eugene's back there. Let me just tell a really funny quick story about Eugene, because actually this is related.
The rabbit.
The rabbit, yes.
Back there.
So the rabbit
For those who are just joining, it's just walking around.
Having a house rabbit. By the way, we're not in my house right now. We're in my office.
Oh, yeah.
But Eugene has...
There it goes.
Eugene lives both in our house and in our office, depending on which place we're spending more time at that moment. And so Eugene is actually... I'm building her a tiki hut themed like habitat up at the house. And down here she has her little patio and all of her stuff. So this is absolutely ridiculous. I normally, as trying to be considered to be a legitimate farmer, am not about, rabbits that have tiki shirts or patios or tiki huts or anything else. But the consolation, Eugene is the consolation because she is still a fiber animal. I can still spin her fiber. And because she's indoors, I am getting way more enjoyment from her on a daily basis, like a lot of little dopamine hits as she's ruining my life in the background of our life all the time. And so in that, she's contributing a lot more on a very consistent basis than the alpacas do, with so much less effort. Like care, responsibilities, differences from a rabbit and an alpaca are like 1,000 to 1 in favor of the rabbit being much easier. Rabbits are basically goldfish. And I can confidently say that because rabbits are the only animal I've actually had throughout my life. I'd never had a dog. I'd never had a cat until we started farming. And sometimes I still ask myself, like, what if I'd just gotten a dog?
It'd be a little different life, wouldn't it?
Like, can you imagine? I mean, because I got the dog after I'd already started farming. And as much as I love my dogs now, I have wondered, like, oh, would that have satisfied me enough? Like, would I have then gone on to pursue the farm? Adam's like dying inside hearing me say this out loud. So the alpacas are going away.
So that's 3.
That's 3.
So chickens, ducks, alpacas.
Yes.
4.
Aside from Oliver, we have gotten rid of all of the barn cats. And there's other reasons for that forthcoming. We're actually making a video about this. So like I'm teasing a video and we're going to talk about all of this, like, and the real reasons behind it all. But like, there's more reasons behind all of this that we'll talk about in this video that we're making currently. So stay tuned. But so that we're down to the barn cats, and then this last year I had started raising old spot pigs that I had like trained, and I was planning on having like I went to an artificial insemination class, and I was going to artificially inseminate them, and then we had our surprise pregnancy and then our miscarriage last year that like happened as I was supposed to be breeding the pigs, and then I just like wasn't sure if I could like emotionally handle doing all of that in the wake of all of that. And so we decided to make the really, really hard decision to just process our breeding stock, which really, really was so sad for so many reasons. And again, we'll talk more about that in that video, but like it was such a hard thing because that to me felt like a failure and letting go of something. But like Adam's just continued to remind me that like we can get more piglets and you can train them the same way that you did again. And yeah, so that was really sad. I had tried really hard to find another good home for them because like they were phenomenal breeding stock, and they were trained, and like they knew their names. And I mean, it's a wild thing when you're talking about pigs that are like 650 pounds, like big pigs like that. They could be a total nightmare, which is why training them was so important, and why like them knowing their names and everything was great. So anyway, all that to say, the pigs are no longer. I will say though that I did say species, and that wasn't quite correct because we still have Lucy.
Yeah, Lucy's is still there.
Lucy,
she's not going anywhere.
Our neighbor's pet pig that we inherited.
Mini pig.
Who we have, like, again, I am like trying to be a legitimate farmer as I'm holding a very cute baby goat and showing you my house bunny.
The most ridiculous species of bunny.
What's
the breed of bunny?
Lionhead dwarf.
Lionhead dwarf. It should
should not exist. It has zero survival instincts whatsoever.
Like it completely fabricated outside the wild.
Yeah.
Like it does not exist.
The world, like, it literally can die of like a tangled fluff if you don't keep it brushed, which is like why it's such great fiber. Hypoallergenic too, by the way. Very, very soft. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Oh, wait, actually, it should go and get the little, well, I guess I could just tell everyone. So because I'm like spinning so every day when I brush her, or like when a tuft comes off or whatever, I put it into a little jar. And Adam threw away my jar of bunny fluff on accident.
It was like nothing in there.
Okay, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that it might have been windy in the house that day and some of the fluff blew away, but I was like, that was a week's worth of fluff.
It was like this much fluff.
Anyway, he was doing dishes, so good job for Adam doing dishes, but he found my jar of fluff and was like, what is this? Like, threw it away, put it in the dishwasher. Anyway, so that's what happened with that. Okay, so
you weren't getting a lot of yield from that bunny. Let's just say that.
Well, not at that time. She's getting bigger now, so it's like it's more. Plus, it's seasonal. Anyway.
Yeah, it's like your alpacas and all that fiber that you supposedly were going to get.
I have it. It's just like that's another story for another day. Okay, so so then so what number are we at? 5?
That's it. Yeah, you said you teased 5.
Yeah, and then like we again, thanks to that fox, it killed all of our geese except for one, and so we have one goose left who's literally just it's our only bird left on the property. And we'll just see how long she lasts. But I mean, she's been our guard goose. Like we'll see.
This fox is like ridiculous.
Yeah, it's been pretty ridiculous. So and the thing is like I'm sure everyone will ask like, oh, why are your alpacas, your donkeys, and your dogs all livestock guardian, and your goose all livestock guardian animals? Why are they not doing their job? There is a good answer for all of those questions, which basically all comes down to having to pen things separately, and then like our biggest thing is like the ongoing issue with our neighbors and our livestock guardian dogs and keeping them inside at night when they can't really do their job. So therefore, that's been an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what's happening, and all of it again seasonal. We could always decide to change our minds. We could always
get pigs again.
Could always get pigs again.
Alpacas.
Could always get chickens again. I mean, technically, May's doing the chickens, but like, great. And I'm all for that. Having the next generation.
I'm sure we'll have chickens.
Yeah. At some point, but I mean, this year the intention was do less, but better.
Less is more. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that, and then
You want to talk about maybe what you're working on with woodworking projects?
Oh, yeah. Well...
And then we can talk about the winners for the gift card.
Yeah, okay, great. So we got the Sawmill running today for the first time. One of the, trade-offs that I have, so our neighbor is aging, and he has access to 1,500 acres of property. And we have this really sweet deal where I help him maintain his road. And so every time we have a storm, I'll come and take the trees out of his road or help fix his driveway or whatever else. So I've been collecting a bunch of trees from that. And then
a lot of trees. There's a lot.
I have
of logs
I have an actual log yard. But I mean, that's also, but the trade-off for me helping him maintain his road is that I get to use his property for mushroom hunting and mushroom collecting and all. I've found over 78 species of mushrooms back there now, and I've been propagating them and turning them into mushroom spores for people to grow at home and all these things. That's been super, super fun. But all that to say, we'll talk a lot about mushrooms this year. But all that to say that we milled up this incredible walnut tree today when we fired up the sawmill for the first time. So that was exciting.
Super cool.
Yeah, it was just so beautiful. And I told Adam, I'm like, this is my favorite project. This is my favorite kind of project because I got to get in, I started it and I got into the really exciting part, saw the grain and all that. And then I got to put it in a stack, and I don't have to think about it again for another 2 years because we now have to wait for it to air dry. So I'm like, this is great. You get to start. You do all the fun beginning stuff. You don't have to do any of the hard middle or finishing stuff. Love that in every way. And so, that.
What are you picking out of its nose?
Sorry, well, it's just this is actually I have OCD, so there's that. But it just had a little fluff on its nose, and I didn't want it there anymore.
Oh, God. It's very cute.
She's very, very cute. So, and then if you can see behind us, I'm very bad at the pointing. So there's a chair that is in progress. I have completed 8 chairs so far this year. That's a big, big deal because I had started a lot of chairs, and again, what I was just saying about the sawmill, I was like, ooh, starting's really fun. Doing all the finishing parts, mostly because I'm constantly being pulled in 1,000 different directions. But thanks to downsizing, focusing, making intentional time for these things every day, I've been picking away at doing this. So we will have, very soon, we will have a matching set of
Very
8
cool.
chairs for the house that also involves 2 Windsor style chairs for every bedroom. So we're going to have like over,
Oh,
Eugene's down by our feet. Oh, she's
I kind of
cute.
startled her though.
Yes, but he did. Well, she'll be back. But anyway, she's very cute too. So, yeah, that like.
These Windsor chairs though are quite impressive though that she's making.
Thank you. Yeah, it takes about 35 hours.
This is like on the woodworking. And correct me if I'm wrong, but on the wood scale of difficulty, this is like pretty high.
Yeah, chairs are very difficult.
I think back to the scene in The Patriot when Mel Gibson is trying to make the chairs in the beginning, and he keeps collapsing.
Yeah,
that's literally the same chair that you're making.
It is actually the same chair that I'm making over and over and over again. So, and the cool thing, so if in case you don't know this, one of the big reasons we moved to Tennessee was because Greg Pennington is a chair maker here who's one of my closest friends and long-term mentors. And so I help him prep for his chair classes, and occasionally I'll help him teach, like if he needs an extra set of hands or whatever else. And so in that, over the years that oh gosh, don't worry, she's still alive. Over the last 5 years that we are now neighbors with Greg, and I get to actually be involved in so many more of the classes and stuff. Every time we teach, we also like make the parts for another chair. And so I had the parts for like 15 different chairs that were all incomplete. And I just decided that I wanted to finish them all. So I've been spending like between a half hour and an hour every day just working on, there's Eugene again, just working on the chairs. And, picking away a little bit at how do you eat an elephant? We've said this phrase to each other probably at least 10 times already today, one bite at a time. And so, yeah, each chair takes me about 30 hours to complete from start to finish, and that's going from literally splitting it out of the tree to a completed chair that's not painted. I need to find someone who likes painting chairs because it's kind of tedious, and we're going to have a lot of chairs to paint pretty soon.
Are you going to paint them black with the red underneath?
Some of them,
yeah. That's the traditional.
The traditional way
painting.
to paint chairs is to paint them red, 3 coats of red covered with a few coats of black, and then you polish it a little bit, and then as it wears over time, it starts to look more and more like wood grain because the red starts to show through the black. And the reason that you do that is because the chairs are made out of multiple different species of wood. So like I'm pointing at one right now. The legs are made out of maple because that turns really well on the lathe. The seat's made out of pine because pine is a soft wood and it compresses around all of the harder parts. And then the arm posts are made again out of maple. The crest rail is made out of oak, and then the spindles are also made out of oak. So like if you were to just stain it or oil it, it would look really tacky because all 3 of those different kinds of woods are different colors, which is why we paint them. Everyone always is like, oh, why do you paint them? It's so beautiful just in the wood. I'm like, not up close.
Justin asks, hand tools or power tools?
Hand tools. Look around you.
Like no power tools.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I guess the lathe is technically powered.
Oh yeah, but I have a treadle lathe now, so.
Oh, wow! Look at you. Ooh.
But I'm not above using power tools, and I will be honest. Actually, so for the set of matching kitchen chairs that I'm doing now, I actually made a personal competition with myself to see, like, could I do these? Like, if I do a big batch, could I do them faster than like 30 hours? And the answer is yes. And so what I've been doing to both save myself some carpal tunnel and other things is I am power carving the majority of the seat and then finish carving them with hand tools. And anything that any part of the process that I can use a power tool to kind of like speed it up a little bit, I am doing that.
This is a funny question.
Yes, please.
Only because I think the answer can be funny. Worth the effort says, what's going to be unique about the design of the chair set so that we know they're Annie chairs?
Well, the kitchen chairs particularly, well,
What's your calling card?
My calling card for all of these chairs, ironically, is that every single one of these chairs is built almost entirely from scraps. So like when we're doing scraps. Yeah, so like when we're doing an example chair for the students or whatever, I don't want to use like the good wood that we could use, because I mean, even though we make all the kits, like even like we get the pine from like Indiana, like for the seats, and then we mill all of the other wood ourselves. But we still have about $230 in every chair kit for students. And so I'm not about to have $230 worth of chair parts. So I literally got the parts for all of these example chairs out of the firewood pile, or a student screwed something up and then I just took it and was like, I can still fix it. And so all of these chairs have multiple aesthetic flaws or whatever. Like some of them have a little knot in the seat or something like that. So that's A, I love to be frugal, and B, I hate to throw anything that's still useful away. But yeah, so and then sometimes the spindles, because I've split so many thousands of spindles at this point, I can make a really crooked spindle straight. And so things that a student wouldn't be able to use, I'm like, oh, I can literally use that whole log that's not usable for student stuff. So that's that. Plus also the actual matching set of kitchen chairs is Glenn Rundle designed them. I think he calls them his kitchen chair, but I've just tweaked the design a little bit to make them a little bit more unique. He puts his crest rails on the other way, and I like them the way that I have them. So that'll be the calling card, because no one else makes those chairs that I know about.
I love it.
Yeah. Cool.
I think we should announce the winners, and maybe of the gift cards for Redmond and the gift cards for Duluth. Perfect. So maybe while I pick them, maybe talk about...
Yes.
Why don't you talk about Redmond Re-Lyte?
Perfect. Okay, so those of you who don't know this about me, I'm really into salt. I think I have given partial salt TED Talks recently, but as popular as hydration is getting for people, I think it is so important that we use the right kind of salt. I mean, just across the board, if we're going to eat salt, salt has been demonized by the medical community for good reason, because the table salt, just that white stuff that you get at the store, is garbage, and you probably shouldn't eat it because it's had all of the good stuff mined out of it and turned into other products that they can sell for money. But there is a place in Utah that's one of two salt mines like this. It's from a salt deposit that was deposited in the Jurassic era. So this salt has been untainted by human pollution or anything else. It has the perfect nutrient balance and everything. So if you're going to eat salt, you want to eat salt from this mine. There's two mines in the world that have salt like this. One of them is in Provo, Utah, and the other one is in Bolivia. I'm going to probably go for the one that I can go to the mine and see the mining techniques and all that stuff. So anyway, this is where all that salt comes from. So it's good salt to start with. Then they turn it into all of these awesome hydration products. They also make, brisket brine and table salt and all kinds of things, but it's all the good stuff. I'm showing you this now because they just came out with a hydration chocolate. So this is your way to replenish.
It's hot chocolate?
Yeah, it's the way to replenish your electrolytes while also enjoying a nice hot chocolate, which people who know me really well know that I do not like chocolate. However, there's a weird distinction, but I really, really love hot chocolate. And so I have been drinking this stuff in my hot chocolate, and it's glorious because now not only am I getting all the nutrients from my goat milk, teat to table, I'm adding more nutritious goodness to it, and then I put marshmallows in it, which is oh well. But anyway, so if Re-Lyte they make fantastic hydration stuff. If you're doing after workout things, if you are doing recovery, if you if you're like me and you didn't find out that humans are supposed to drink water until you were 16 years old and you're not in the life habit and you find yourself dehydrated all the time, make your water taste good with Re-Lyte. They also, actually, I will say that they just started making Re-Lyte Kids, which is even healthier. And I really like the kids flavors because I am basically a child. Anyway, I haven't had unrelighted water now for 6 months, and I'm proud to report that I've literally never been healthier or better hydrated in my entire life. So if you would like a gift certificate to spend on any Redmond human product, please submit your names.
What?
Adam's picking right now.
I'm picking.
Yeah, he's picking. So I'm just saying that's Re-Lyte. That's what we were talking about. And then the other sponsor that we.
Well, let me pick the name. The winners of the Redmond. So, the way I picked this is literally people who've been commenting. Tanya Evans, and I'll also pick OWISU. So if you want to send your address to hi@annofalltrades.com.
Send your physical mailing address to hi@annofalltrades.
hi@annofalltrades.com.
That's N with an E, of as in of, all as in all, trades as in trades.com.
Yeah, so that's, again, Tanya Evans and OWISU.
Perfect.
Those are the two winners for the Redmond.
I can't believe I've been holding this goat the entire time.
That is quite a feat.
Well,
that goat doesn't seem to mind. It actually seems to be very happy about it.
Like I said, I've spent more time with her than like any of the other baby goats in the last 5 years, and she's really into it. But it is really funny because I was planning on only having her in here for the first 5 minutes, but then she fell asleep and I totally forgot. Also, huge shout out to Black's Tropical Homestead, our friends.
Yeah, they're all over the comments.
Oh, good. Oh, great. I'm so glad to hear it. In case you don't know me very well, I'm extremely dyslexic and very distractible. So I am not allowed to know about the comments aside from what Adam reads to me because it's just for everyone's best.
Yeah. Well, we used to have them like on the screen, and it was so distracting that we had to just pull it off.
Okay, can we have a moment of silence really quick? Because I want everyone to hear this baby goat snoring in my microphone. You have it pointed away from the microphone. Switch it around. Oh, just kidding. Sorry. If you're just joining us, that is a baby goat snoring.
I hope it's rumbling somebody's subwoofers.
I can only hope someone is listening to this. Probably Jeremy Johnston, I feel like, is the #1 candidate for like extremely loud sound system. Oh,
they said they can hear it.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Okay.
All right. Anyways,
So,
that's
all
our
that to say-
ASMR for the evening.
Yes, and
So,
now to be followed by him fumbling with his microphone for...
Let's talk about, you're looking at that, so annoyed.
I'm just worried about everyone's ears.
No, it's not that. It doesn't do that. All right, let's talk about Duluth. Well, I picked the two winners for Duluth.
Okay, well, as usual, I am dressed head to toe in Duluth. My current favorite thing as we transition into the spring of deception here in Tennessee is these vests, which 10 years ago you probably couldn't have caught me in a vest, but now I actually think that they're super cool because comfort is important, warmth is important, but also being able to swing my arms freely. We did our firewood processing for the year over the weekend, and we being able to chop wood and keep my core body temperature warm, but also have full mobility. Duluth is really doing it right. We're not going to speak of their competitor, Lord Voldemort. We're just not going to mention the green coat that I used to have and everything.
Oh.
The thing is, Duluth figured it out with their women's line this year as far as mobility goes, And again, this is stuff I would be telling you even if they weren't sponsors. Like, we are extremely picky about the sponsors we pick to work with, and our endorsement is always 1,000% genuine. Oh my gosh, the goat has awoken. But I actually feel like going over to get my coat to show you exactly what I'm talking about with the gussets in the back.
Oh.
I'll be right back. Sorry. Eugene, I hope you're not beneath me right now. Let me just go put the baby goat back.
Oh.
And I'll get my coat so I can show the gussets.
All right, she's getting the coat. All right, so we're picking some of the winners. And so, by the way, these are $50 gift cards, so it's pretty cool.
Oh, here you go,
Gosh,
buddy.
it
Don't
sounds
worry.
like quite a kerfuffle in there. I think the goat is upset that it's being abandoned.
All right, I'm back.
All right, she's back.
Okay, the coat. This is the Duluth coat is so cool because it's hard to even show you this, but like the way that the arms attach in the back. This is the case for all of their winter wear, which is why I love them so much now, but the way that they attach in the back is so dang cool because it allows for so much more mobility than any other brand of women's wear. Anyway, I love clothes that are designed to actually be worked in. I feel like that's a huge improvement we've had in women's workwear over the last decade that I've been doing stuff. Because, 10 years ago it was hard to find work boots that actually fit women's feet. And now that there's all that, so much cool stuff. Also, people keep telling me, complimenting me on my very Christmassy outfit, which I don't really understand why this is a Christmassy shirt. I feel like this is just a tartan, but here we are. I love their button-ups too. So here's 2 winners of our Duluth gift cards.
So it's a $50 gift cards to Duluth. Natasha Gall and Kelly Purdy.
Okay.
So you want to send your physical mailing address to hi@anavoltrades.com. hi@anavoltrades.com.
hi@anavoltrades.com.
If you get that to us, we'll get it out in the mail to you.
Send us your physical mailing address, and that is all we need to be able to get you your gift cards. So huge thanks to Redmond, our family at Redmond, and our family at Duluth for sponsoring us and for making videos like this possible. Any other parting thoughts? Any questions that are burning questions that have to be answered before the end of the stream?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
But I really enjoyed doing this. This is fun.
Great. Yes. Thank you all so much for taking your time to spend with us. It's never lost on us, the shortness of time and how precious it is to be able to be invited into your homes. And we hope to continue earning the right to be there. So we love you all. We'll see you in our next video. Cheers.
Cheers.